All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show on a very warm Saturday afternoon here in the New York, New Jersey area. Believe me. Number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat it again, 512-543-4662. And we'll be here just before 6 o'clock when Rasal McGee takes over for his fine show, which I'll join a little bit later after that. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube. Just just go on YouTube and type in the Enhanced Sports Show, and you'll see this show is in entirety. Uh, Little problem with the StreamYard site. It's not kind of as I would like it to be, but that's okay. I think just a little bug in the system, but everybody can see me on through the other site, so I think we're good. All right, so we got a lot to get through. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to bring in my cohorts in right now. Uh, Steve Davidson, are you there? Steve Kent, is that you? Welcome back. All right, guys. Well, let's put it this way: was that a game one, or was that a game one to start the World Series? I mean, it was wild, it was wacky, and I'll say one thing: I enjoy it. What a game! I mean, what a game! I mean, kind of surprising how it got there to begin with because nobody expected, not even me, nobody expected the Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks to even make it this far. Well, maybe the Rangers have more of a slight chance than say the D-backs, but still very unexpected with these teams going into the World Series, and they got there. The Rangers got in by being the Diamondbacks on Monday night, and thanks to that grand slam by Garcia, and the D-backs surprisingly beat the Phillies in the seventh game, which I thought maybe that Phillies would have a chance since it was at home, and they were undefeated at home in the playoffs throughout, and yet for some reason Arizona just shut that down. So kind of a surprise to begin how I got there, and a surprise to how this first game got started last night. Right, gentlemen? Yes. And Mikey's joined us. Mikey? Yeah. So, I mean, back and forth it went. Texas took a 2-0 lead to start the game. And then, unfortunately, the D backs came up with 3 runs in the bottom of the second inning. I'm like, oh, great. How you blew that game, how you blew that early lead, I have no idea. Just dumb luck, I guess. So then to continue on, okay, to continue on game one. I went to then back and forth. Then the Rangers had taken the lead. Then Diamondbacks took a lead of 4-3 heading into the sixth, and nothing really happened until the bottom of the ninth. Of what happened with a monster home run to tie the game by Corey Seager, or Seager as the case may be. To tie in the bottom of the ninth, setting the game with the extras in a wild game. And then our Aldous Garcia, who I now call the new Mr. October for obvious reasons, sliced an opposite side of the field, a home run, the bottom of the 11th for the Rangers to take game one about just after 12 midnight tonight. Mike, is everything okay? I thought it was, yeah, I recognize him. Boy, I didn't even think people use a typewriter anymore. Okay. Oh, still, still, I didn't think anybody use a typewriter anymore. I didn't know we're still in the 20th century. Anywho, oh boy. Okay, so and this is a very interesting fact, folks. That this happened 12 years to the day that the Rangers lost that game six of the World Series on a home run to David Freese. Those of you who might remember, the Rangers took a lead not only once but twice, once in the ninth and once in the 10th, and were just one strike away from winning the World Series, and then the bomb fell out. It run a base hit single in the 10th, and then Freeze in the 11th, spoiling the chances of the Rangers capturing the World Series. Game six was rained out on Friday and was played the next day. No, actually, they're back. It was not right now. It was raining here, and the Rangers actually lost the series to the Cardinals, and they would have to wait another 11 years to get back here. Now I think they got something going because they got some pretty good hitters, especially with Sager and Garcia. I mean, these two are the powerful arms, and I mean, Garcia has been hot. Has been a hot batter in this whole playoff series. I mean, hitting the grand salami on Monday night to win Game 7 to beat over the Astros. I was thrilled. You know, so long, cheaters. And that was and just cruise on to an easy victory. It looked like it was going to be a fight to the end until the eighth inning, and the Rangers just took control of that. Meanwhile, and the Phillies game, that was close to a rout with the Diamondbacks. I thought maybe the Phillies would have a chance to get in, maybe pull some last minute heroics because the Phillies bats were hot all through the postseason too, but they just fell flat at the end at home at home. I mean, I couldn't figure that out. I mean, they were so hot with their bats in the postseason, and the Diamondbacks just did them in. I was just trying to figure out this whole time what in the world happened. Then again, this series has been. I mean, the whole postseason has been so unexpected. I mean, hey, my NLCS was all messed up when the Phillies and Diamondbacks advanced. Me and the Dodgers and the Braves were already out, so my prediction already went out the window anyway. Yeah. So anyway, why don't we look up to Game Two as matchup tonight if they're available? I don't think they are. Just check for me here as we start Game Two tonight. And on that schedule, it'll be ah ooh okay. I like this matchup. Merrill Kelly versus Jordan Montgomery. Before I take more thoughts about that, what do you make of tonight's matchup between Kelly and Montgomery? Steve Davidson, I'll start that with you. Yeah. Well, that's kind of hard to do in every game of the World Series as much as we would like it to happen. But it's pretty tough to duplicate that throughout the World Series. I mean, sometimes you get games that are like 5-2. Sometimes you get games like 9-3 or whatever, 1-0, 14-1, which I have seen happen. So every game varies. Every game in the series varies. I mean, tonight you got a close one. I mean, last night you got a close one. Tonight you might not, or you may. You never know. You just never know with that. So that's the thing with that. But what did you make with the last series that we had between the Astros and Rangers and the Phillies D-backs before going on with the with some other news? What did you make of it, Steve? I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Well, I wasn't too surprised by that. I wasn't too surprised by maybe the Rangers being the Astros. I mean, I wasn't really too surprised on that. I mean, they're pretty evenly matched. I could go either way. But I really thought, how the Rangers are doing and their hot bats. I think maybe they have more of a chance of getting in than say, between the winners of the Phillies and D-back series. Steve Kent, what about you? Yes. Uh huh. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yes. Boy, he could is right. Yes, yes. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Right. Well, no, actually, no, it hasn't because remember Arizona went in 2001, and the last time the Rangers went was 2010, and they should have won that. So, okay, oh, okay, that, yeah, for them it's the first time. Yes, I was speaking overall, and the bloody sock too. Ooh, yeah, right. 5-1. Wow, wow, they blew that many. I thought it was closer than that. No, uh huh, right, yes, right, on a walk. Yeah, yes, yeah. First pitch too. It could. Yeah. First time yeah, good. Think so, Mike? Alright. Incidentally, that was the first time that a home run won game 1 of the World Series in 35 years. Anybody remember the last time that happened in a game 1 World Series? No, no, 88, 1988. Kirk Gibson. That was in a game 1 that was in a game 1 World Series, and he was hobbling with 2 bad legs, and he hit the home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. And then we heard those magic words from, we heard those, that call from, Jack Buck. "You guys are gonna make me do it, aren't you? You guys are gonna make me do it." "I don't believe what I just saw." Okay, I'm a dead man here. Ah, boy. So, anyway, here's the other interesting fact. The D-backs were odds at 125 to 1. Now, that's pretty long odds to get there. Texas, 50 to 1. Both teams barely got into the postseason as wild card teams, both needing 7 games uh, to get here. Rangers had a more easy victory against the Astros as they won 11 to 4, and the D-backs had a much closer game against the Phillies. D-backs catcher Corbin Carroll delivered a solid performance by going 3 for 4 with a pair of home runs and RBIs and stolen bases, following a solid 4 inning start from rookie pitcher Brandon Haddift. D-backs bullpen long and effective, put together 5 shutout innings from Joe uh, Matt Deply, Ryan Thompson, Andrew Stefanik, Kevin Grinkle, and closer Paul Sewald, who gave up the home run last night. Oh boy, to give the tying home run last night. Sorry. He retired Jack Cave and sent the sellout crowd of the Phillies home in disbelief. And it was in disbelief, even for me as well. The D backs finished 16 games in back of the Dodgers in the NL West, allowed 15 more runs than they scored in the regular season. The D backs are the third fewest team with 84 wins to get to the World Series, just ahead of the 2006 Cardinals with 83 and the 1973 Mets, who only won 82 games but were swept by the Oakland A's. Well, once upon a time, guys, yes, they were actually good. Yeah, 82 wins. You made that World Series, but up against the almighty Oakland team, the Mets didn't have a chance that year. I'm wondering though if the D-backs can pull it out just like they did in 2001. I hope not, but I'm really hoping for the Rangers to win. I'm saying the Rangers in. I'm gonna say in 5 games. I think they can do it in a shorter series. I don't think the D-backs have enough power to make it past that. Steve Davidson, what about you? Yep. You have no idea how are they gonna go? Hmm. Steve Kent. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I agree. Mike, I'm gonna say 5 games as well. I don't think they have enough firepower. We'll look at that. So we'll look at that. And actually, the game one matchup had as follows. Oops, let me find it here. Game one, it was Evaldi for the Rangers against Zach Gallen for the D-backs. Evaldi signed with the Rangers last season and made his first World Series start. He was 4-0 with a 2.42 in 4 postseason starts this year, which includes the wild card and the division clincher and the must-win Game 6 ALCS last Sunday. They needed that. Diamondbacks flew out the Texas on Wednesday after clinching the pennant on Tuesday. They went with Gallen, who had a Not a great ERA to start off with, 5.24. It was kind of surprising, and yet they managed to hang in there. I mean, you're not going to win too many games with that kind of an ERA going into the postseason. Let's put it that way. Gallen surrendered 9 of 14 hits on 5 home runs in over 11 innings and a pair of losses to the Phillies in the NLCS, where it took the D-backs all 7 games to pull it off. Gallen was 17-9 with a 3.47 ERA, but had 220. But he led the D-backs in wins. He had 220 strikeouts and he pitched 210 innings. So not bad, but that ERA is kind of high. He struck out 11 batters and only gave up 1 run in the victory against the Rangers back in August, with a 3.57 ERA against the Rangers in interleague play. That is. Montgomery is 3-0 in the postseason, including a game 7 on Monday night. So he looks to be good for this game. So I think I got to give it to Montgomery tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Moving on to other baseball news. Astros manager Dusty Baker is calling it a career after 26 years as manager. Highlighted by a World Series win last season. Yuck. His announcement came 2 days after the Astros lost to the Rangers in the ALCS. A news conference was to be on Thursday rather. Shortstop Jeremy Pena said that Baker was a legend. He enjoyed every minute I spent time with him. He was great for me. He showed a lot of confidence in me and was a great manager. Baker was hired by owner Jim Crane in the winter of 2020 after the sign stealing controversy that led to the firings of manager A.J. Hinch and Jeff Luhnow, the general manager. Baker did exactly what Crane was looking for by deflecting away from a group of players that was jeered with boos other than their home stadium while having continued success. The Astros reached the AL Championship in 2020 and secured the championship and a World Series title that year. And remember, at one time, the Astros were part of the National League. For those of you who are old enough to remember that. I know I am. But he says right now it's not. He says right now it's not goodbye, it's so long. But remember, he is 74 years old, so I don't even know he's got much left in him. No offense, but he is getting up there in age. But I'll give him back. He was a good manager though. Too bad not for our side. But he will be missed. Throughout the game. And that 2017 that 2017 ALCS still burns me up. Ugh. For those of you who remember that, Mike, I think you remember that too. Rangers, Yankees, and the Astros, 2017. Yeah, something I wish to forget about, but that was a devastating loss, especially since won a home run. All right, so we all agree that Game 2 is going to be won by the Rangers tonight. I hope so. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. No. 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 Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes, I think you're right. All right. So I'm going to turn to the football now. I mean, with much of the baseball news, pretty much out. Giant fans, don't hate me for this, but Danny Dimes is out for tomorrow's game against their cross rival Jets. Sorry, with a neck injury. Coach Brian Dabble seemed uncertain about his status moving forward as in recent weeks. Tyrod Taylor will once again start in place of Jones. Okay, not a bad substitute if you ask me. Taylor did great last week. Jones was injured on October 8th when he was sacked in the game by the Dolphins. This will be his third game that he missed due to the same injury. It was 2 weeks ago when Dabble asked if Jones would be returning this year, and Dabble replied, "Yes, his season's not over." I happen to agree. I mean, I've heard teams with neck injuries, they've been able to come back. When asked directly if his season is over, Dabble replied, "He's getting better, and we'll see how he goes for the next week." But the Giants came off from a pretty decent win last week. Now with Jones out again, but with Barkley back in, that was I think what turned it around having Barkley back. But is this going to be a problem for the Giants tomorrow with Daniel Jones out? Mike, I'm going to start that with you. How did your confidence with the Giants tomorrow without Danny Dimes? You know that. You think they can? You think they can do fine without him? Now they didn't say how long he'll be out for, but it could be next week, it could be 2 weeks. We don't know. I mean, it is a neck injury, so you had to be careful. You gotta be careful with that. You had to be careful with neck injuries, because that could, neck and hand injuries you know, are the most serious, in when you get injured in football. So you had to be aware of that. All right, Steve Davidson, your thoughts on that with Danny Dimes out? All right, I'll give you that. Sorry, right. All right, Diane's here. So, Diane, your thoughts on tomorrow's Giants Jet game? Because Daniel Jones is out with a neck injury. Yeah. Oh, any thoughts from last night's Game One World Series? No. Well, if you didn't see it, you missed a great game. Wow. Yeah. Both Steves are here, and Mike is here. Okay. So moving on. So it may be tough, but I'm not too sure. It's gonna be a tough game. I think without him, but we'll have to see what happens. Oh, I do have some more baseball news here. Okay. Max Scherzer, who suffered a cut on his thumb, uh, said it would not be. His pitching hand said it would not affect him pitching in the World Series. Okay. The Rangers starter had a band aid on the inside of his right thumb near the nail before throwing a bullpen session Wednesday, 2 days before the start of last night's game one. Scherzer indicated, it's just a cut. No big deal. I can put a bandage on it. The pain around it, I can pitch through it. That's not a problem. except there might be some blood here and there, but that, yeah, no problem. Yeah, still, that blood. Ugh. Scherzer is a three-time Cy Young winner, was obtained by the Mets in a trade at the end of July. He went 3-2 with a 3.20 ERA and 8 starts for the Rangers. However, this season was cut short as he suffered a strained muscle in his right shoulder last month, but did return to make a pair of starts in the ALCS. Scherzer gave up 5 runs in 4 innings and took the loss in Game 3, giving up 2 runs in 2 1/3 innings and no decision in Game 7. Scherzer's in the World Series for the third time, following a 2012 loss with the Tigers. Sorry, Taylor, and against the Giants in 2019. And won with the Giants in 2018 with the Nationals as they defeated the Astros. So Scherzer's gonna play through the pain, even though it isn't much pain. I mean, anybody can get through that. That's no problem there. I got confidence that he's gonna do fine in the World Series when they start him up. And the Braves re-signed reliever Pierce Johnson to a 2-year deal worth $14.2 million. That was acquired on Wednesday. And it's the first move in their offseason. Again, you can't really call it offseason yet because it's not over yet. Johnson, riding the Braves with a hard-throwing option out of the bullpen after being acquired from the Rockies, will make $7 million over the next 2 years and includes a $7 million club option for 2026 with a buyout of $250,000. The right-hander lost his job with the Rockies, but turned his season around after being acquired by the Braves for 2 minor league players on July 24th. Johnson gave up 2 earned runs in over 23 innings for an 0.76 ERA in 24 appearances. Wow. With 32 strikeouts, only 5 walks. He assumed a key setup role along with AJ Minter for closer Raciel Iglesias. During the division series, Johnson added 3 scoreless appearances, but the Braves, with the best regular season record with 104 wins, lost to the Phillies in 4 games of the NLDS. Iglesias, who had 33 saves with a 2.7 ERA, is under contract for 2 more years for the Braves, while Minter is heading to the final year of arbitration at Dirty Word. The Braves are hoping to return a lefty for Tyler Mazerik, who missed all last season, who underwent Tommy John surgery. All right, so at least the Braves are going to get some of their players back, and maybe they can wipe off, the mistakes they made in this postseason. I hope. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Think so, huh? All right. Well, of course, we'll take the. All right. You can say that again. That's true. Some quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks, okay, this is a two-part story here. Uh, we can now confirm that Brock Purdy has cleared all 5 steps of the NFL concussion protocol. It was today, meaning he will start against the Bengals tomorrow. So here's the full story. Purdy entered protocol on Tuesday after feeling symptoms on the 49ers plane ride home from Minnesota on Monday night. Purdy did pass 4 of the league's 5 concussion protocol steps. Steps yesterday. That has allowed Purdy to participate in limited practice on Thursday, but was a full go yesterday. At that time of the report, he was questionable for tomorrow's game and was attempting to make a final step to clear protocol. And it was still, iffy if he was going to start today. But about 2 hours ago, we got the word that he will be able to start tomorrow's game against the Bengals as he passed concussion protocol. Thank goodness. The final step of protocol required Purdy to be cleared of full contact by the Niners team doctor and examined by a neurological consultant. And if the consultant agreed with the team's physician, which he did, that his concussion has resolved and started tomorrow. Obviously, has been resolved. He appeared to be injured during a quarterback sneak midway in the 4th in a loss to the Vikings when Minnesota linebacker Jordan Hicks had helmet-to-helmet contact in the pile. Yeah. Purdy did finish with 2 interceptions in the closing minutes of the game. So what looked like that Purdy was going to be out for the game tomorrow is now going to be back in. Question is, though, was that the right move? I mean, I know he cleared it, but, coming from a concussion, I don't know if it's just being like rushed. I know we're in week 8 of the season now. We're approaching halfway point. We're not, but I still think that coming a week after getting concussion, I think it might be too soon to come back. I think you should say at least another week because your heart might be in it, but your head, I think you might be feeling some residual effects. To be honest, as much as I have nothing against Purdy, I think he's a great quarterback. I don't know. I just think they're rushing him to get back in. So 49ers. So Steve Davidson, let me start with you. Is it a good move for the 49ers and Brock to play tomorrow, or do they just sit out one more week? Thank you. Yeah. Right. Steve Kent, your thoughts? Yeah. Ah, that's true. That could be a problem. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Mike? No, he's not, Mike. No, he's gonna play, but I don't think he's I don't think it's a good idea. He's gonna play, but I don't think it's a good idea. Diane. I'm afraid to find out. All right. So moving on to the Jets side now. The Jets secondary unit is whole again after quarterbacks Sauce Gardner, who brought the sauce, and DJ Reed have cleared concussion protocol on Friday and will play against the crosstown rival Giants on tomorrow. The Jets were up both stars in last week's game, yet managed to beat the Eagles. Reed missed the last 2 games with a concussion. See, he missed 2 games with a concussion, and you want to bring Brock back after only missing 1 week? I don't think so. That occurred in week 4 against the Chiefs when they got, well, made a competitive game but didn't win. Coming off the bye week, both players returned to full practice on Wednesday, so the Jets were optimistic about facing the Giants as they got their going for their third straight win. It allows flexibility on the defense and allows not to be more creative, but allows to do more things that you would not do without those players, said by Coach Sala. The Jets used a patchwork plan against the Eagles, employing seldom used Bryce Hall and promoted cornerbacks Craig James and Taze Hayes from the practice squad. Nickelback Michael Carter, not the group, but not the player, went out late in the game with a hamstring injury last week, yet still intercepted Jalen Hurts 3 times. So we got a full unit here, and I think with that, the Jets might be looking for some here. I mean, I think we got some going here. If we can beat the Eagles, I mean, I don't think there's any reason why we can beat the Giants tomorrow, especially now that you got your secondary unit back in full swing again. So this might look like to be in the Jets' favor, but we'll discuss the predictions on that later. But I like what you see with this Jets second unit here. I mean, they're really making up for stuff. I mean, considering mm, considering they had a slow start at the beginning of the season, they have really stepped things up here. When you say so, Mike? Yeah. All right, Steve. But Steve, we didn't get there yet. We didn't get there yet. You have to listen, Steve. With the Jets secondary unit. I mean, they seem to be coming together now. Your man Sauce. Ah, yeah, yeah, yes, right, yeah. All right, Diane, your thoughts on the Jets secondary unit? Well, the Jets unit's back in full swing. So, what do you think of them? Yeah, with their secondary unit. Maybe you're right. All right, Steve, you can finish your report now. Yeah, it does ruin it, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, Diane, your trivia. Go ahead. Diane, Diane, where'd she go? Diane, you can do your trivia now. Well, let me test something here. All right, Mike, you're still there, right? Okay, Steve is still here. Diane, are you there? Your trivia. Go ahead. There we go. Better. Let's go. Magic. No, no. Urban Magic Johnson. No, no. Larry Bird. Bird. Larry Bird. Yes, he was a coach. Yeah. Mm. It is a misleading, Steve. You're right, but it does count. Even though it is misleading, but it does count. You're right. You're right. You might find it hard, but wait, 1977, you said, right? Yeah, Bradshaw. No, that was a good guess, though. That was a good guess, though. Yes. No. Oh, that's right, because Bird played in the college final in 1979, so he couldn't have. Bruce Jenner. Now they're Sacramento. They're Sacramento now. Yep. I thought it was different. I thought it was a different Jenner, but it's the same one. Okay. We're not gonna go there, Steve. We're not gonna go there. I think his number 23 was stolen. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I think I heard that it was stolen. Right, Alex? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Di. All right. So, Alex, what do you make of the Jets secondary unit? Seem to be coming together, and the Jets look like they're coming together too. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. Okay. Lowest scoring. Okay. We'll take the predictions later on. All right. On the college front, Ohio State running back Trayvon Henderson is set to return today after missing the last 3 games with an undisclosed injury, which means we don't know what it is. Coach Ryan Day said on his radio show on Thursday that Henderson will be a full go for the game against the Wisconsin Badgers. Henderson went through warmups before Ohio State's last 2 games against Penn State and Purdue, but ended up not playing. Not a bad year so far. He had 104 yards and a touchdown in the September 23rd game against Notre Dame, which they beat him. His most recent appearance, Harrison has struggled with injuries after his breakout freshman season with 2000 in 2021 when he rushed for 1,248 yards, 15 touchdowns, as well as 312 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. But he's back in the game, so Ohio State should have no problem whatsoever. Hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. I asked a little while ago, Alex, do you think it's wise for Purdy to come back tomorrow? I don't know if you heard the question or not, but you think? I mean, because no, I mean, look, yes, he did clear the concussion protocol, but still, only a week after it, I think that's kind of pushing it a bit. Eh, uh, all right, but I still say they're pushing it a bit. Um, Yeah, Ravens linebacker Raquan Smith said it's time to cowboy up and said asked about his health. Oh boy, yeah. Smith gave an indication that he'll play on tomorrow against the Cardinals despite dealing with a shoulder injury that forced him to miss practice last week. The All-Pro linebacker is leading tackler for a Ravens defense that has allowed the fewest points per game this season. He told his teammates, "As long as the sun rises and there are no canceled games, I'll be out there." Smith played 57 straight games since he suffered a torn pectoral muscle that placed him on the injured list of injured reserve at the end of the 2019 season, but his availability came into question Wednesday when he was not at practice. However, 24 hours later, surprise, he came back. With Smith returning to the Ravens, who are one of the most injured teams in the league, is now one of the healthiest. In Week 4, all 6 of the Ravens' inactive players were injured. Then on Thursday, the Ravens only had one player on the 53-man roster that was on the injured list. So at least they're getting healthy, because remember, now that you're reaching midway point this season, you want to get your players as healthy as possible to make a run at the postseason. Because if you're just being like a mass unit, forget it. Need I say more, guys? And for the Raiders, Jimmy G, who sat last week's loss to the Bears with a back injury that he suffered in the previous week against the Patriots, returned to practice on Thursday and looks to be a go against the Lions on Monday. I don't know. The Lions? Tough one here. The G-Man declined to go into details, saying what it felt different than his previous injuries. The Raiders feared an internal injury at the time and was sent to the area hospital to get scans on his back. He missed 2+ games. The first 7, also missed a Week 4 loss to the Chargers with a concussion. He said the start-stop nature in his first season with the Raiders was different. Garoppolo has thrown for 1,079 yards with 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and completed 68.7% of his pass attempts in 4.5 games after signing a 3-year, $72 gazillion deal with the Raiders. Well, 72.7 gazillion. Raiders, it's a tough match though. Raiders are 3-4 and the Lions are 5-2. The Lions are, a bit of a surprise team, everybody. I mean, they're not the same team they once were, where they were, a trash dump. They've become a much improved team in the last recent few years. So this might be a tough task for Jimmy G and the Raiders. Oh, don't take my word for it. Don't take my. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's true. That's true. Ooh, turmoil. Ooh. All right, turning to basketball for a minute, as the first week of the season has now come. The Spurs came out short in their opening matchup against the Mavericks as Victor Wembanyama made his regular season debut. Although not a terrible start, his performance was hampered by foul trouble, but did give quite a performance in the fourth quarter in front of a solid crowd. Look, rookie mistakes happen. It's going to happen to a lot of the players, even the top players. It's going to happen, especially because remember, he's not used to playing American style basketball. He is a European player and has yet to adapt to the style that we play. So naturally, there might be some confusion and with all the foul trouble he's had. So I kind of expected it. Didn't surprise me at all. He said the experience, though, felt surreal to see the number of fans in the building before the opening tip, even though things did not get off to the right start. On the Spurs' first defensive possession, Victor came up with a block on Kyle Irving of the Mavericks, but at the same time, as the game progressed, Wembanyama found himself battling foul trouble. He picked up his second foul with 43 seconds left in the first quarter and just played over 5 minutes in the second quarter. In the third, he picked up 2 more fouls in the first 3 minutes and 23 seconds before sitting out the rest of the quarter. Not a good start so far. He did return in the fourth and found his way quickly back to the bench after 26 seconds, collecting his 5th foul off reaching for a dive by Luka Doncic. And we know how good Luka is. And remember, 6 fouls and you're out. One of the toughest things for a player, especially for a rookie, is getting into foul trouble. This said by Coach Greg Popovich and myself. You never get into a rhythm. You're in and out of the game and that sort of thing, etc., etc. Yeah, I could put that better myself. I thought with maturity, why is my page stuck? Oh, and I thought his maturity showed even at such a young age, where he came out the last 7 minutes and played his guts out, and he did. He finished with 15 points and 6.9 shooting in 23 minutes of action, including 3 for 5 from 3 point range, with 5 rebounds, two assists, 2 steals, and a block. Despite his foul trouble, he tried to stay positive down toward the final stretch of the game. But overall, not a bad performance for his debut. I mean, he did have he did have 15 points and whatnot. Okay, it wasn't a double double, but still, for a rookie in his first game on American soil, I don't think it was a bad move. I don't think it was bad at all. I mean, but is it too early to say that Victor is the real deal here, guys? I mean, given the fact, he's never really played American soil and whatnot, but despite the foul trouble, but I think he did pretty well despite all that. Steve, your thoughts? Yeah, he did better than his second game, which I'll get to that in a minute. Any other thoughts before I move on to that? Yeah. No, no, not even Michael Jordan did that. Not even Michael Jordan did that. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, and former Knicks forward center Kristaps Porzingis stuck into his old team in Wednesday night, scoring 30 points and 8 rebounds and 4 block shots, including 9 straight points as the Celtics beat the Knicks. Thanks a lot. Porzingis said it was awesome when I feel how to beat his former team. Jerk. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, it was awesome. Yeah, maybe for you it was. At one point, it was out of control when the Knicks fans got into it and were making a comeback, but they were but we were poised and we stayed calm and we were able to finish the game. Overall, Porzingis said it was a fun game to play for sure. Yeah, maybe for you it was. Hey, Gerald, it was a dream start for Porzingis, who scored 30 points, a record for a player making a debut as a Celtics player, which surpassed Dominique Wilkins of 25 back in 1994. Oh, wow, I am old. Wow. He showed off his versatility as well. He paced the Celtics in 3 pointers by going 5 for 12 from the line and 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Ugh. He blocked 4 shots, altered several more, and finished with a game high 13 points in 38 minutes. But at least the Knicks won last night, so it's not all bad. Thank goodness. I wish I could say the same for the Nets. The Celtics could, the Nets didn't, but the Knicks did. Um, the Knicks tied the score, a 6 point hole, and they sent the Garden Crown to a frenzy, and looked like the Knicks were going to come away with the victory. But the Celtics went on a 13-3 run as Porzingis, with 6 free throws, sandwiched between on the right wing to put the Celtics up for good with under 90 seconds to play in regulation. Drew Holiday also made a Celtics debut with a decent high of 9 points and 4 rebounds and 3 assists and 2 blocks. And a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, okay. Disgusting. But like I said, the Knicks did win last night, so I'm a happy man with that. Now over to the other side, Victor's second game was a lot better. Let me get to that in a second here. Oh, it's on this page. All right. Yeah, sometimes I do 2 pages. So it goes like this. Last night, he had his first win with the Spurs, and Keldon Johnson threw a slam dunk to finish it off. When the ball went through the basket, Wembanyama already turned the other direction, jumping up and down the court while encouraging the Spurs fans to get louder. Or to quote the J-Lo song, "Let's get loud." Oh boy. It was also it fits, doesn't it? Sheesh. It was also Wemby's late efforts as well. He tied the game late in the fourth and led for good in overtime that propelled the Spurs win over their state rival, the Rockets. Wembanyama finished with a double double of 21 points and 12 rebounds to go with 3 blocks, and 2 steals, and as the first Spurs player to score at least 20 points and have 10 rebounds and 3 blocks since Tim Duncan did that, and the second player in team history to have 20 points and 10 rebounds in his first 2 games as a Spurs. The first was David Robinson, the Admiral himself. Wembanyama shot 7 for 19 from the field, but he did miss all 6 3-point attempts, yet was 7 or 8 from the free throw line and kind of in the spot where it mattered most. After Rockets forward Jabari Smith missed a 3-pointer to tie the game, Wemby got the rebound, but was tied up by Rockets guard Dylan Brooks, who spoiled the Rockets win regulation. In overtime, though Wemby gave the Spurs lead for good with 16-point fadeaway offside of Brooks. The Spurs led by making 6 in overtime, but was cut to 2 with 17.3 seconds left thanks to a layup by Jalen Green. The Spurs guard Jeremy Shonen knocked down a pair of free throws to put the Spurs up by 4. Johnson finished the game up with a slam dunk after Green missed the layup. So Victor has proven that he can play with the big boys, and he's looks like he's going to make an impact for this team. What do you think? He does. He does. That's true. Absolutely. Right. That's going to be a tall order. But he has shown that he can hang in there though. Yes. He can shoot the 3, but he's got to watch those too. Right. Remember the old saying, guys. And what's the old saying in basketball about the 3? Thank you. I knew someone knew that. I knew someone was going to know that. All right, so while we got some time, why don't we go do some of our college and pro football picks right now? Why not? Oh boy. Well then carry on, my wayward son. Okay. Oh boy. And let and that let them dust in the wind too. Oh no. Oh boy. Or can we go to the point of no return? Never mind. All right. So okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, we got a good matchup on Thursday to start the week off. Listen carefully. Number 20 Duke against Wake Forest. Sounds like a better basketball matchup, but we have them in football this week. All right, Steve, what do you got? Duke and Wake Forest. All right, Mike. Alex. All right, Diane. Gerald. I'm gonna go with Duke too. Why not? All right. Um, Even though this is not a ranked matchup, I'm gonna try this one anyway for Friday. BC against Syracuse. Well, I like this matchup anyway. Steve, who do you got? Mike. Gerald. Diane. Alex. I'm going orange. I'm going orange too. And you know what? I'm not surprised this is a split. I'm not surprised. Give me the orange. Okay, now for Saturday's games. By the way, this is next week's now. Number 4, Florida State versus Pitt. Oh boy. Steve. Mike. Alex. Diane. And who did I miss? Gerald. Let's go Florida State. I'm gonna go Florida State too. All right. Ooh. Bow the show me stay here. Number 6, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Steve. Okay. Mike. Diane. Alex. Gerald. I knew that was going to happen in the crowd somewhere. I'm going to go with Oklahoma. You know what? I think you might be right. Oklahoma State. I'm going to go with that. All right. Number 7, Texas versus Kansas State. Gerald? All right. Steve. Mike. Diane. Alex. All right. I'm going Texas too. Number 14, Notre Dame versus Clemson. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald, Alex. Nope. Irish it is. Irish it is. All right. Oh boy, I'm almost afraid of this one. We'll do it anyway. Number 3, Ohio State versus Rutgers. Although Rutgers is bowl eligible, so it's not going to be as bad as I think it is. But still, and it's at Rutgers. Mike, help. Ooh, Diane. Wow. Steve, Alex. All right, and Gerald. I think I'm gonna have to go to Ohio State, but Rutgers I think I'm making credit. They are doing better this year. All right, number 12, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Gerald. Yeah, but it is going to be at my backyard. No, no, at Ole Miss. Yeah, Steve, Mike, Gerald. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, Diane, Ole Miss, Mississippi Queen. What are you, Mountain now or something? Jeez. Okay, Mississippi Queen. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Never mind. Okay, North Carolina. Yes, number 17, North Carolina versus Campbell. I think we got a clear winner here, guys. I mean, I don't even know much about Campbell anyway. I mean, is there anybody that's thinking North Carolina is not going to win? Exactly. I think it's in South. I think it's in South Carolina. Yeah. Ugh, exactly. All right. Here's another mistake. Tennessee versus UConn. All right, Steve. Yeah, Gerald, Diane, Mike. Blah. Okay. But I'm gonna go Tennessee anyway. Remember, Mike. I said football, not basketball. But okay, if you think they're gonna win, okay. All right. Here's another mismatch. Number 13, Utah, or maybe not. Utah against Arizona State. Maybe. All right. Steve, Mike, Gerald, Diane. Utah it is. Okay, Air Force versus Army. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. I'm gonna go Army actually. I got something there, I think. Okay, this one should. You gotta wait a little bit. Okay. Ooh, good matchup here. Georgia versus Missouri. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I'm gonna go with Georgia. All right, Penn State, Maryland. Steve, Mike, Gerald, Diane. Penn State it is. All right. Tulane, East Carolina. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. All right, I'm gonna go Tulane too. James Madison, the newcomer in the top 25 versus Georgia State. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. I'm gonna go James Madison too. All right. I don't know if this should be. I don't know if it's gonna be a bad matchup or not. We'll see. Oregon versus Cal. Steve, Mike, Jimmy, Diane, rather. Gerald. Ducks it is. Okay. That was a hint. All right. I like this matchup here. Let's give it a go. Michigan versus Purdue. Steve. I don't know about a route. Mike, Gerald. Yeah. Okay. Diane. Yeah. I don't look at this as a blowout at all, guys. So I think Gerald has something here. I'm gonna say by 7 as well. All right. Ooh, good matchup here. Number 5, Washington versus USC. Top 25 matchup here. All right, Steve. All right, Mike, Diane, Gerald. All right, okay, I'll take that. Ooh, I'll take that. I'll take Washington. Ooh, another good matchup here in prime time. Number 9, Alabama versus number 15, LSU. This might be tricky here. Steve, we'll see. Mike, Diane, Gerald. So am I. I'm going to go LSU as well. Alabama is not what they used to be. And finally, in the top 25 plus, I should say, number 23, UCLA versus Arizona. Okay, Steve. All right. Mike? No, no, no. It's Arizona, you mean. All right. Diane? Gerald? UCLA and Arizona. I'm going to go with UCLA. Oop, I forgot one. Number 11, Oregon State versus Colorado. Steve? Mike? Diane? Gerald? Yeah, I don't know if they're ready yet. I'm going to go Oregon State. All right. Shall we do some NFL? Yeah, but I heard they're not ready for prime time players either. Ooh, okay. All right. Then again, neither am I. No, okay. I'm better off for late night. Okay. So anyway, who had Buffalo over Tampa Bay in Thursday's game? Diane, I know you had Buffalo. Who had Buffalo? All right. Well, Mike, you're the odd man out. I had Buffalo as well. Sorry. Good game though. All right. So yes, 24-18. I was able to watch the game on my computer. Thank you very much. Okay. So for those who think you can't get it without that you can't get it, there are other ways you can get it, folks. Yep, I got my secrets. All right, that's right. But we're not going to reveal them here. Okay, so for Sunday's matchup tomorrow, we'll begin with the Rams versus the Cowboys. All right, Gerald. Right, Steve, Mike, ugh, Diane. Okay, 4 out of 5 of us agree that the Cowboys are going to win. The Rams. All right, Vikings, Packers. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. I'm taking the Packers. What happened to the Vikings this year anyway? I mean, last year they were 14-3, and this year they just fell off the face of the earth. What happened? Yeah, but this whole season they've been awful. Yeah. All right. Well, there's still time, but this is not the team that we all knew. Understandable. Understandable. All right. Moving on. Falcons, Titans. Steve. Mike, Gerald, Diane. Dirty Birds it is. Okay, the Saints versus the Colts. Steve. Mike, Diane, Gerald. I guess I'm the odd man out here. I'm going to go with the Saints. All right. Hmm. Who do I hate more here? Patriots or the Dolphins? Oh dear, the lesser of the two evils. I gotta go with. I'll say that for Mike. But Steve, what do you got? Mike, Diane, Gerald. I'm gonna go with the fish. And they called him Flipper, Flipper. No, okay, all right, okay. And the battle of New York, Jets, Giants. I'm gonna start with the local crew here first. Mike, Diane, Steve, Gerald. Okay, I agree with you. Thanks. Okay, so three of us took the Jets. Jaguars, Steelers, Steve. Mike, Diane, and Gerald. I'm gonna go Steelers. Eagles, Commanders. All right, Steve, go ahead. Right, Mike, Diane, Diane, Gerald. Eagles, Commanders. Gerald. I'm gonna go Eagles. All right, Texans, Panthers. Steve. Oh boy. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Diane, Gerald. I'm not surprised because I go with them too. And Carolina is still the only winless team this year. Well, it could be winless too, but still. No, nope, nope. Yeah, right. So that's on that. All right. Browns, Seahawks, Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Seahawks too. All right. Chiefs, Broncos. Oh dear. Uh, Steve, Gerald. Exactly. But we gotta make it official. Mike, Diane, Chiefs and Broncos. No, 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 no. It's Kansas City and Denver. All right. Did I get everybody? All right. Ravens, Cardinals. Steve, Mike, Diane, Gerald. Exactly. Ravens it is. Bengals, 49ers. Remember, Brian. Die what die? What I do? Okay, I'll move on. All right. Bengals, 49ers. And remember, Purdy is playing tomorrow. All right. So, Steve, what do you got? Mike. Okay. Diane. Diane. and Gerald. I think because they lost two straight, they're looking for a rebound. I'm going to go with the 49ers. All right. The Bears versus the Chargers. Steve, Mike, Gerald, Diane, Diane, Chargers. Okay. Okay. And Alex, we got Bears, Chargers. Chargers. I'm going Chargers too. All right. Monday, Raiders. Okay. The Bears. Okay. Monday, Raiders versus the Lions. I'm not lying. Steve? Right, right. Mike, Gerald, Diane, and Alex. Right. We have Lions. Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions too. But this occurred to me. We have Lions and Bears. We don't have any Tigers. Isn't that interesting? Oh dear. Let me hold on. Let me do Thursday night. Don't do your. Then we'll do your NASCAR. Let me do Thursday's game. Yeah, for Thursday night. Okay. Yeah. We hurry up. All right. Still in this. Yeah. All right. As we move into that next game, which is the 8th. All right, and it'll be the Panthers versus the. Oh, well, this will be a joke anyway. Panthers versus the Bears. Steve, now this is for next Thursday. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I think I jumped ahead. Just give me a second here. I think I jumped a little bit ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Titans versus the Steelers. Yeah, for next Thursday the 2nd. Go ahead, Mike, Diane, Gerald, Alex. Steelers it is. Okay. Okay. Okay, Gerald. Your NASCAR report. All right. Oh, okay. Good. Mm, yes. Oh, she's right. Well, that's their mistake. No harm on your part. 4. So by next week, then it'll be down to the wire. Yes. Yeah. I knew something sounded peculiar. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Right. Ah, okay. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we will. All right. Wow. Well, what do you expect from a redshirt freshman? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. So I'll move on to some other items. Okay. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson says he's not sure when he'll play again this season as he continues to rehab his throwing shoulder. He says he doesn't know how long the injury is going to linger on. Right now, we are not in a place where I should be out there, he said on Thursday. I'm trying to get a percentage of where I can go and be beneficial to the team. He was ruled out for Sunday's game against the Seahawks with a right rotator cuff injury. Okay. After missing the Browns' two previous games, Watson started last Sunday's game against the Colts, but left in the first quarter after taking a hit from defensive end Deo Algigbelino. PJ Walker replaced Watson as the Browns won a 39-38 victory. Walker will start for the Browns tomorrow. The good news is that Amari DeVille did not that Watson did not re-injure his shoulder against the Colts. So that's good. But there was some swelling that went with it, residual swelling. That yes, just residual. So that's nothing to be too alarmed about. Uh, which is exactly that's a smart move. That's a smart move. Okay. Um, all right, for you hockey fans out there, well, idiot number one, the Bruins placed forward. Well, I shouldn't say idiot number one, but this was a injury. The Bruins placed forward um, Mullen Lunik on the long-term injury list today. He missed the two previous games with a lower body injury that he sustained as he took a puck to the ankle in the Bruins' victory over the Kings on October 21st. Ugh. This means that he'll be sidelined for at least 10 games and for a total of 24 days altogether. He has two assists in four games this season in his second stint with the Brewers. His first time out was eighth season with the Brewers and was drafted in the second round in 2006 and won with the Bruins in 2011 for the Stanley Cup. So far, well, this year, I mean, he has 233 goals in his career. He's also played with the Flames, Oilers, and Kings. So second time around might be a little bit tougher here. The Panthers center Sam Bennett, who has yet to play this season, could be in for the first time this season against the Kraken. Bennett has 44 goals in two seasons um, with the Panthers. He sustained a lower body injury in a preseason game against the Lightning. Ooh. It feels great to get recovered, said Bennett. When you have not this long, you do kind of miss it. His first, this is his first practice. His first practice since the injury was Thursday, and was back in a comfortable spot, centered an explosive line with Matthew Tkachuk and Carter uh, Berkay. Tkachuk scored 40 goals and finished with 109 points last season, but with Bennett out, Tkachuk has yet to score a goal this season, but he does have 6 assists. And Verhage has had 42 goals last season and 31 assists. So far, he has 3 goals and no assists. Kind of interesting. No goals, but no assists. Okay, moving on. Oh, we also, of course, got to get some this sad news here. Um, as you know, that we had a shooting in Maine this past week, and the Celtics players wore the warm-ups of the G League's counterpart uniforms, the Maine Celtics. The Celtics also donned a band of their jerseys in honor of the state as it recovers from the shooting that ended at killing 18 people and shooting 13 years in a bowling alley and a bar. And a bar. Yes, which is even worse. The jersey band simply read Maine was placed on the above and their sponsored logo patch. Fans also observed a moment of silence with a green and white image of the outline of the state that was displayed on the Jumbotron screen. Very senseless tragedy. And let's hope this never happens again. Our thoughts, our thoughts and prayers of the state of Maine. We are with you, of course. All right. Yes. Okay. Moving on. Blazers guard Anthony Simmons will require thumb surgery and will miss 4 to 6 weeks. The announcement was made just a little while ago. He injured his thumb in Wednesday's opening against the Clippers, according to Blazers. An MRI revealed a tear in his UCL in his left thumb. Simmons scored 18 points, was expected to carry the workload in the backcourt with Damian Lillard. Now with the Bucks, Simmons averaged 21.1 points last season. Shaden Sharp took over Simmons and scored 24 points despite a loss against the Magic last night. So we got injuries already. Okay. Oh, now for you college basketball fans out there, I got something really interesting. You guys ready? Okay. Well, okay, that's not it. All right. Well, it goes like this. Where was the article? Well, there won't be. There's something about how they get like automatic bids for teams that win their conference. Well, this year is going to be a little bit different. As if okay, the regular season champs will no longer be receiving guaranteed automatic bids for NIT tournaments. Listen to this, guys. The NIT board of managers tweaked their qualifying rules for their postseason tournament yesterday, saying regular season champs who did not win their conference tournaments will not receive automatic bids to the postseason tournament. Now, this is NIT only, though. So, moving on. Instead, the NIT will guarantee two teams based on net rankings from each of the six major conferences: the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big East, Pac 12, SEC, and the ACC. The two top net teams with the net rankings not qualifying the NCAA tournament, regardless of their win-loss record, will be selected. I know someone's trying to do something here. Oh, I can't figure it out. Why is everybody leaving? Oh, where'd it go? Um, Additionally, the 12 teams automatically said will be guaranteed the opportunity to host a home game in the round of the NIT. So what do you make of that, guys, with this new ruling? Yeah. Hmm. Anyone else have any thoughts? No, I guess not. All right. So, why don't we go to this week in history now while we still got time before I run out? But sometimes we run out of that. Oops. I actually we did. Yeah. We do it. We try to get in early because someone will be here for it. I tried to figure out who it is, but it's not it. I can't figure it out. Oh, no wonder I couldn't mute you. All right. Hello, Fran. Okay. 1924. The White Sox beat the Giants 8-4. in Dublin. Less than 20 fans attended. Okay. 1954, Major League owners vote down a sale of the A's to Philadelphia. 1959, American Football League awards a franchise to the Buffalo Bills. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Di? Yeah. And where did Mike go? Oh, never mind. Okay, where'd he go? Oh, all right. 1961, ground broken for Municipal Shea Stadium for the Mets. 1962, giant YA tail pass for 7 touchdowns versus the Redskins. 1970, the Cavaliers had their first home game and lose to San Diego. 1973, Elmore Smith of the Lakers blocked 17 shots in an NBA game. 1974, 2 Islander hat tricks in the same game. McMillan and Westfall. Wow. 1975, Calvin Murphy of Houston begins NBA free throw streak of 58 games. 1976, Billy Martin named AL Manager of the Year for the Yankees. Well, they did win the pennant that year. 1978, Bobby Orr scores his last career NHL goal against the Red Wings. 1979, Dick Howser beat Yankee manager win-loss 636, returns to New York, replacing Billy Martin. 1981, the Dodgers beat the Yankees 9-2 in Game 6 of the World Series. Oh, boy. 1984, Greta Waitz won the 1984 New York City Marathon, 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 30 seconds. 1989, the A's beat the Giants 9-6 in a sweep of the World Series that was interrupted by the San Francisco earthquake a few days earlier. 1995, the Braves beat the Indians 1-0 in Game 6 of the World Series. Tom Glavine, MVP. 2007, the Red Sox beat Colorado 4-3 in Game 4 at Coors Field to sweep the Rockies for their second time in 4 years. 2011, the Cardinals beat the Rangers in Game 7 to win the World Series. MVP, David Freese. Yuck. In 2012, the World Series, the Giants beat Detroit 4-3 in 10 innings at Comerica Park. Tigers swept the Tigers 4-0. 2015, the longest ever first game of the Baseball World Series, 5 hours, 9 minutes, as the Royals beat the Mets 5-4. Also joint longest by innings, 14 innings. 2018, Red Sox beat the Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5. Dodgers staying to their 9th title in franchise history. Steve Pearce, MVP. Ah, dear. All right, yuck. All right, other news and notes. Okay, ever since Damian Lillard blocked a trade last month, they encouraged the latest superstar to be himself on the floor and urging to take control late in games. So, the debut of Lillard with the Bucks played out exactly the team had envisioned. He scored 39 points in his debut and includes scoring the last 11 points to give the Bucks a 1-point win over the 76ers. Lillard said, "I had that discussion with guys like the Greek Freak. I came in knowing what they expected of me. They encouraged me to be the person to take control, to make decisions, and decide what's going on with those moments." The Bucks trailed by 2 with 4 minutes remaining in the game. When Lillard took over control of the game, he scored 14 points in 4 minutes, nearly matching the Sixers' 15 points in the fourth. Lillard put the game out of reach with a 3-pointer over Kelly Oubre Jr., icing the game in dramatic fashion. So Lillard still got it. That trade might help him. That trade might have helped him. No, I'm not. Okay, and the Avalanche, well, all things was coming to an end as they spent the last 6 months essentially invincible on the road, and the last 2 weeks they were unbeatable anywhere. But it all came to an end Thursday night as the Avalanche perfect start to the season is over. Their NHL road winning record streak of is over as after 3 periods in which Pittsburgh provided a glimpse of what they hope the team could be what they hope the team can be even far more regular than they have shown so far. Riley Smith scored twice and goal. Tristan Jarry stopped 31 shots, ending the Avalanche's road streak at 15 with the 4-0 victory. The last time the Avalanche lost a road game dating back to last season was on March 7th against the Dallas Stars. That's a pretty good road record, if I do say so myself. 15 in a row, dating back to last season. They never really got going against the Pens, which showed commitment to blocking shots, avoiding the kind of risk play that cost them and lost 4 of their last 6 games. Smith beat Alexander Georgiev twice in the first period and put the Avalanche down multiple goals for the first time this season. Oh, Diane, can you give me your best and worst of the month? Die. If you're still there. Diane, are you there? No thoughts on best or worst? All right. How about you, Gerald? How about you, Gerald? Okay, Steve. All right. Well, my worst, I think, was what happened when Morgan State, that tragedy, where five people were shot back last month, this month. It happened after, I think, after the football game. So that was pretty tragic. Also, what happened, yes, this week in Maine. I think the best was with Garcia hitting the grand slam Sunday night against the Astros and coming with the game winner last night again against the D-backs. That I mean, because that was a dramatic moment, and they managed to pull it off. What a game! I wonder what we'll face tonight. Well, like I said though, oh, I got some more news here. The ACC has voted Army as the football only member, with sides working on bringing Army to the conference next year. Army will replace SMU, who will join the ACC next year, to keep the AAC at 14 teams. The football only edition follows a similar agreement to the one Navy has with the conference, ensuring that the long standing Army Navy game will be played at the end of the season, which was an important detail to solve the Army's addition. So they are going to keep it, Steve. The source told ESPN that the Black Knights of Army and that the Shipment of Navy will not face each other in an ACC regular season conference game, and the rivalry would continue as a non-conference matchup. In a scenario where Army and Navy could finish in the top two conference standings, matching up as the league's title game, they would face each other back-to-back weeks. First in the ACC title game, and then the traditional Army-Navy game. Army and Navy both play in the Patriot League and other sports other than football. Okay. Lincoln Riley misses practice for a second straight day on Tuesday with an undisclosed illness, according to his spokesman. Dennis Simmons, who was the wide receivers coach, has assumed catch coaching duties. Simmons, who was listed as USC's assistant coach, has coached alongside Riley since 2015. Both began at Oklahoma and both lived in 2021 and headed west to USC. Simmons did say Riley, though, is feeling better, saying after Tuesday was at practice, knowing that he spoke to Riley earlier in the day. We are viewing this as a player We are viewing this really as a player getting dinged during the game or during practice. So the next person is stepping up. We are holding it down until he's able to return. And sure enough, he will very, very soon. The Lions will have to do without Marvin Jones tomorrow as he's taking care of family issues. It's procedure moved. It's a procedural move. The Lions announced they released Jones, who had 5 catches for 35 yards in 6 games this season. He did not travel with the team to Baltimore last Sunday, which was a loss to the Ravens. After the loss, the Ravens head coach Dan Cable said it's hard to determine his absence would be long term. All I can say right now is a personal issue. Well, we certainly wish the best. The season mark returned to the Lions after spending last 2 seasons with Jacksonville. After spending his first 4 seasons with the Lions, his first time out, he had 547 receptions, 7,241 yards, and 58 touchdowns in 151 games over his 12-year career, which began with the Bengals, who selected him in the 5th round in the 2012 draft. Jones, though, has only posted one 1,000 rushing season in 2017, where he caught 61 passes and led the league in yards per catch. So think about that. And Messi is the top MLS newcomer player of the year, despite only playing 6 games in the league. The top newcomer, well, that's a bit of a stretch, and he is an international superstar. He was one of 30 players nominated for Player of the Year, as one of 2 players put forward by Miami during the club nomination phase. Messi brought Miami soccer to life as he scored 10 goals in 7 games and won Miami's first ever League Cup and the U.S. Open Final Semi-Cup appearance. However, his appearances in MLS were limited as he suffered a leg injury with the club with Argentina in September. He played 372 total minutes in 6 appearances with 4 starts, including 1 goal and 2 assists, as Miami missed out on a playoff spot. And those playoffs are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so I don't know if I have any idiots of the week or not, but and the NBA was going to go back to its old East-West format for the All-Star game. That'll take place in February in Indianapolis. It'll feature an Eastern Conference team, a Western Conference team that comprise of 12 teams from each conference. This change will end the All-Star draft that had taken place in the last 6 seasons with team captains, which will be determined by fan voting of the 5 stars of each team. I'm glad they're not going to do that anymore. I'm glad they're going back to the way it was because it never should have been tampered with to begin with. Just too much of a gimmick for that to happen. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly right. We didn't need that. So I'm glad they're going to go back. Remember, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And we have one more call from Virginia. Who's calling, please? Oh, hey, Marilyn. Hey, Coach. We know results going to come on in a few minutes, so I'll be there shortly. But anything you want to make any last minute comments before I go? Well, we had just finished up some basketball. We did some World Series predictions. Who do you got for World Series? How many games? Well, it's the best of 7. 5. All right, I'll take that. All right, so okay. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. I want to thank you for coming in, Marilyn. Thanks for coming to the last to make this last minute. But thank you anyway. All calls count. So we'll be back next week with maybe a wrap up of the World Series or Game 7 on Saturday, in addition to our other features as the monthly standings and sports calendar events and other along the way. So remember, next week it's 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And hopefully that we'll hear from you then. On that note, have a good week. So good night, everybody. All right.